You know what would bring about a better America? When renewing your driver's license anywhere in this country, you had to take Professor Clyburn's civics class from C.A. Brown High School in Charleston, South Carolina, and you'd have to pass it. Now that is your national security right there. I have learned so much from the Majority Whip from every time that I am with him, whether it is strategizing around civil or human rights or contemplating the yellow mustard as a proper condiment for fried catfish. I will follow him anywhere on one of those counts. Please welcome to the stage my favorite teacher and my treasured friend, Majority Whip James Clyburn.
Thank you very, very much, and thank you, Alfre, for that very kind introduction. I always enjoy spending time with you, and I really, really appreciate seeing you this evening. To this family and their friends, it's a real pleasure for me to be a part of this program. Now, Alfre wrote the memoir, the foreword to my memoirs, and it's a book about my experiences. And I say in that book that all of my experiences have not been pleasant, but I've considered all of them to be blessings. But among those experiences I've had that are both pleasant and blessing was my experiences with John Robert Lewis. The two of us met as 19-year-old college students. He came to the campus of Morehouse from Nashville. I got there from Orangeburg, South Carolina, and we were meeting in what was the second meeting of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. As many of you may remember, we started those. Thank you. We had met in the spring of that year up in Raleigh, North Carolina at Shaw University, and this was October 1960. We thought that we needed to do something to harness and target all of that energy that had been started on the campus of North Carolina A&T on February 1, 1960. Now, as in most movements, some differences developed. Those of us who were much younger were more direct in our activities. And of course, we sent for Dr. King to come and just kind of mediate or negotiate a settlement. We met for supposed to have been an hour at 10 p.m. We did not leave that room until 4 a.m. the next morning. I had, during that evening, what I call my Saul to Paul transition. As all of you know, we adopted the philosophy of nonviolence, a philosophy that had been globalized by Mahatma Gandhi, but Americanized by Martin Luther King Jr. Now, for most of us, nonviolence was a tactic, but for John Lewis, it became a way of life. Speaker Pelosi joked earlier about John and the defense budgets. As the House Majority Whip, it's my job to get the votes. But when the defense budget came up for consideration, I would smile at John and keep walking right on by. But the most powerful force that kept John Lewis's eyes on the prize was Lillian. Now, Lillian reminded me of the fact that John and I had a little more in common than civil rights activities. We both married way above our status. Emily and I met on South Carolina State's campus back in 1961, and we got married. John and Lillian got married in 1967, if my memory serves well. As you know, Clayton takes the credit for arranging all of that. I have no idea. I was not there, but I know this. Lillian and my late wife, Emily, became fast friends. They were both professional librarians. They would both get on the phone late at night, and I would try to eavesdrop. But I was always a little bit nervous at what they may have been talking about. And I would come back, and John Lewis and I would laugh about that. But they became fast friends. Now, many people credit Lillian as being the key to John's successful career. I don't know, but I'll give Emily credit for mine. Those two ladies develop a fast relationship that tend to really understand and give respect and space to their husbands. I love Lillian, and Emily was having a tremendous battle with diabetes. But when Lillian passed away, she had stopped flying, and she said to me, whatever you've got on your schedule, set it aside, and I hope you can still drive, because you've taken me to Atlanta. And we went to Atlanta. That trip down there was a very quiet trip, and the trip back home was even more so. John and I had our last talk in the back of the chamber just as he was getting ready to go home. He had told me what his eventuality would be, and I had accepted it reluctantly. But that conversation, he said to me, Jim, please, don't let anything happen to this movement like happened to ours. We lost it over sloganeering. Let's not let that happen this time around. I made John a promise that day that whenever I saw something, I would speak up. I would stand up. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. But one thing I learned in the South Carolina jails, that a little discomfort can take you a long, long way. And so, thank you for this tribute to John and Lillian. I'm sure that you will find much more support for these efforts than you ever dreamed of. And it is my great honor to present now something else that John and I had in common, and that was a common friendship with the majority leader of the United States House of Representatives, Steny Hoyer of Maryland.